Welcome to We Geek Podcast. Today is Wednesday, September 2nd. And as always, my name is Adam. I'm joined with my good friend Logan.
Hello.
What up, man? And we're here to give you your weekly geekly news. So, yeah, man. So, again, of course, you're listening to We Geek Podcast. You can hear us on iTunes, Android, and the N.FM, which we're actually nailing down. We got the day, so it's going to be on Wednesdays. It's going to be in the evenings. We're going to try and get either before or after one of their shows. So I just wanted to give you an update with that. Next week, actually, we should have an exact date and time for you if you want to listen to us live. So again, go to the N.FM. And we're going to talk about the weekly geekly news. So, but first, man, how was your week? How's your week been?
It was good until I'm working on weekly geekly. What the hell is that?
I don't know. It's just something I just said.
Hey, all right. We'll channel a little Ned Flanders. That's okay.
We're just going with it. I was wondering if you were going to say that. Notice it. I was like, oh wow, why am I saying that?
That's a good question, really. But
our weekly geekly news. Yeah. Hopefully, I'm not stealing anyone's catchphrase there.
Boy, I hope not, because I'd feel really bad for them.
Right, exactly. Yeah, man. Yeah, so you have a good week, man?
Yeah, same old work. That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
we got all the games dropped this week, pretty much. We did have, Until Dawn came out last week, and I was like, well, I don't know. Does this sound like something I want to do or what? But I snagged it from Redbox today, and we'll talk about that later. But,
nice. Yeah, I heard really good things. I hear if you're into the kind of teen horror genre, it's fun to play.
Yeah.
So, all these games dropped, and all I played was Destiny because I'm a crazy person. So it's the problem with these games. Yeah, no, I had pop up last night. It said Metal Gear Solid installed and ready to go. I was like, yes! And then I was like, oh, but all my friends are on playing Destiny right now. And then I got flashbacks of World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Oh yeah. And it was just, yeah. So anyway, but yeah, man, that's what I did. So yeah, this week I've been just kind of playing Destiny, working, and hung out with my grandparents a little bit. I got this new thing. I want to go to different diners. I live in Orlando, so I had this crazy thing where I want to start going to diners for some reason. So I've been hitting, that's what I've been doing. That's what I did over the weekend. I went to 2 or 3 of them in a few days. So I know that's random, but I don't know why. I've had a weird fixation on going to diners. So, but yeah, man. So besides that, doing geeky stuff, just kind of been playing games and watched, Fear the Walking Dead. And of course, we'll get into that in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Watched a few videos about Kojima, saying goodbye. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I caught some wrestling, but I didn't get to see all of it, so hopefully you did. We could talk a little about that. But yeah, man. Well, let's get into it. We do got some sad news to first say. Wes Craven passed away.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Yeah, dude. And I from what I understand, he had brain cancer, right?
Yeah. That's tough, man. That's a hard way to go. But,
oh yeah. So what's your favorite thing that he did?
It would have to be Scream.
You stole it.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm a big. I was never a big Nightmare on Elm Street fan, but I did love New Nightmare because I thought that was the way you turn that on its head. And then from there he went and it seemed like he kind of took the spirit of that and made Scream. And it and if I remember right, I think it's right. It's chicken then egg, I think.
Yeah.
But that was it. And regardless of the sequels or whatever, the idea of what Scream was really it was what the genre needed.
Yeah, it's a classic.
It needed.
People will be talking about in 50 years.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's because it did exactly what it needed to do. It was the whole idea of saying, hey, we know what the horror genre's become, so what do we do to change it? Well, why don't we just lampoon it in a way that's hysterical and yet can still be scary? Yeah. And it worked. It was perfect. It was great commentary. It was great comedy, and it was a scary movie.
Right.
And
Oh yeah.
and having, spoiler alert for a 25-year-old movie now, I think, like, if you've never seen it, too bad. But like having, you see Drew Barrymore right up front, and it's
Right.
like, oh, okay, yeah, they got somebody big in this. And then, you're not even 15 minutes in, and she's gutted hanging from a tree. So it was the idea of like, okay, wow, that's different. Like,
Right. Wasn't expecting that.
exactly. Like, wow, that's the big name, big box office draw, and
Right.
then
Well,
they're
you
done.
got that from Hitchcock,
Yeah.
Yeah, and from what I understand, I was listening to a few podcasts about Hitchcock and what he did with. Oh wow, why did my mind just go for a blank here? Oh,
What are you looking
jeez.
for? Quick.
I'm trying to think of the actress. She was huge. The one that was killed.
Vivian Lee. Vivian Lee.
That's it. Yeah. That apparently back then it was so people would go to the theater and they would leave. They would leave right in the middle of it. Or I'm sorry, I'm mixing that up. They'd show up right in the middle of a film, and they'd watch halfway through the film, and then they'd catch the beginning right after the showing. So Alfred Hitchcock was like, we're going to change that with Psycho, and so he put in big name actress, and it got word out that like she dies, spoiler alert for I don't even know how old that film is, halfway through the film, and so it was like, oh, okay, we need to make sure we're there early because we want to see her, because if we show up late, we're going to miss the main actress,
Well, and a lot of theaters started instituting rules like that. Psycho is why we have showtimes now.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so like that, Wes Craven, he kind of took that and bam, there you go. And of course, all the stuff that came out of it, like a scary movie, it's kind of fun spoof of it, and that was huge in its own right. So I don't know, yeah, he's a legend, of course, Freddy and all the other films. So rest in peace. But yeah, so we got some other news going on here. We saw some new Star Wars stuff.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, we did.
Right. And maybe refresh my memory because I only thought I saw one little clip of new Star Wars stuff. Everything else we've seen before, right?
Yeah, it was just like everything. It was like that one little. What was it? Like 3 seconds at the end of it.
Right.
That
yeah.
was the only new bit.
Right. So we got Finn shown with the blue lightsaber in the woods. So
yes.
we assume that's who. What's the name of the bad guy again?
Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren, yeah. We assume that's who he's chasing down in those woods. It was just such a cool scene, like a little clip, for 3 seconds.
Yeah, and
you can see him. He's scared, or he's either scared or angry or something. But you see him, freaked out.
Well, and breaking that down and really digging into it. You know whose lightsaber he's holding?
Oh yeah, Anakin's.
No, Luke's.
Well, I thought it was. Well, yeah. Well, it's Anakin's.
Well, yeah, you know what I meant.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's eventually he'll lose a hand or an arm. So
he has to. He has to at some point. Yeah.
He's got to. So that was cool. We kind of knew about this before when during it was a Star Wars celebration, and they had the lightsaber there right next to his outfit. So of course it's in the poster too, right?
Yeah. It is now.
Yeah. So, I thought that was cool. But yeah, man. Let's see some other news we got. Borderlands. Lionsgate announces film adaptation.
Yeah.
Avi and
shorten it. Avi and Ari. Yeah. Arad.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the Spider-Man. That's cool.
Yeah. They produced what? Everything. We had. They've been either with or attached to, Spider-Man, X-Men, Blade, the Metal Gear Solid movie that may or may not ever actually get made. Just a mountain of nerd films.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. The game wasn't really my cup of tea, but that was just me. So we'll see how a film does.
Well, it's got a lot of comedy bits. I could see this being a fun. If they do it, just a fun. I don't even know how they would do it. They can't do like cell shaded or anything. I don't think it's gonna be animated, but
they could rotoscope it.
That's true. Yeah, yeah, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, Borderlands was never my thing. I've only played moments in it, and that's it. Fleeting moments at that. So I don't really have any, you know, feelings on any of that. But hey, I know there's a lot of fans out there. So the what was it? The what's the guy's name? The Happy Jack or something?
Handsome Jack, I think.
Handsome Jack. Oh man, that sounds so dumb, but yeah, yeah. And that was on sale not too long ago, I think. I think it was down to like $20, 20 or $30.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. And I see that actually you just spoke about Until Dawn. That's $30 at Best Buy right now.
Is it? That's anybody hearing that right now? That's a deal. Go do that right now.
Right, yeah, and it just came out last week. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know, and usually that's when it's a bad game, but it's gotten great reviews. Like, people love it, you know. But yeah, we'll get into all that later. Let's see here. We got Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One. Short list includes Ellie Fanning, Olivia Cook, and Loya Kirk. Yeah, I don't know, I'm mispronouncing that. For Artemis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, those are some interesting choices for sure.
Yeah, I don't even know who I would pick for her.
I got nothing.
And they all look kind of different to me. The actresses.
Yeah.
Like they don't look. They don't look like what I imagined, and they didn't. None of those actresses really look the same to me anyway. So
right,
that's kind of cool.
Right. No, hey, let's do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like who I would pick, but like I don't know. I just don't have anybody that fits like the image that I have in my head.
Right. Yeah. I can't think either.
I would think like a younger like Mila Kunis. That's kind of the image that I always got.
Yeah, and it's weird you said that because that's who I was thinking, but I'm like she might be a little too old to play that. But then again, she looks super young anyway.
True.
But yeah, like a younger one, like that 70s show version.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. All right, well you take one of the next ones here.
Okay. Vincent Cassel from Black Swan has been cast as whoever the villain is going to be in the upcoming Bourne film, which doesn't have any plot details or a title or, any of that yet.
Right, that's what I was thinking when I saw it. I'm like, this must be the first news out of it, because besides the fact that they were doing it.
Yeah, but it's like we know that Tommy Lee Jones is going to be in it. That's kind of it.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah,
that's pretty much all we have so far.
Yeah, that's weird. All right, let's see here. Oh, this next one you told me about. Tremors. Yeah, go ahead and take it.
Dude, they made a fifth Tremors. I didn't know they made a fifth Tremors. I'm so excited. And Michael Gross is coming back, and it's set in... I think it's set in Africa, I think. Well, because it's like they've kind of been everywhere else, So what are they going to do?
Be honest here. I think I've seen 3 of them. I saw the one where they fly.
That was 3.
Okay, yeah. That was about as much as my Tremors went up to.
And that's fair. They did just kind of get worse as it went on, really.
Yeah, and I loved how he kind of went into it, but we'll be right back. We got some more movie news and a ton more. You can listen to the N.FM. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're listening to We Geek Podcast, and we got some more movie news, so let's move along, man. Well, actually, I want to take a second to talk about Tremors. It was, the first one was great. It was just fun as a kid watching it. I wonder what it'd be like seeing it nowadays, because to me it kind of rubs off kind of like a really good sci-fi, like the Channel sci-fi film. Yeah,
it is very sci-fi original movie, especially the fourth one.
I'm surprised this didn't go to series on the Sci-Fi Channel.
There was a series. There was a Tremors series.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was. I forget if it was animated or not, but there was Tremors the series.
Oh wow! Okay.
It tanked for obvious reasons.
Right, 2003.
Yeah.
Oh, Sci-Fi Channel, wow.
There you go, see?
Okay. Yeah, number 13 episode. That might be fun to go back and try and see. But yeah, man. All right, well, I saw here that there was a rumor, the cinematographer who shot Interstellar and Her, is going back to work, going to do Wonder Woman.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, and I saw
Well,
that Ain't It Cool News.
yeah, isn't that
I thought that was
interesting?
interesting.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's uh, that's yeah. I can't come up with a better word than interesting off the top of my head. Go.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's gonna be so cool. I loved Interstellar. I haven't seen her yet though. I heard nothing but good things. Just haven't seen it yet.
Oh, really? You should see. It is good. Like it is a very good movie.
Right, right. Yeah, that's what I hear. I need to put that on my list.
Big time.
Yeah, yeah. But I loved Interstellar, and that's good for Wonder Woman. You know, nothing but good news. So I also saw that Josh Gad is confirmed to play Roger Ebert in the Michael Winterbottom's Russ and Roger.
Interesting.
You know who that is, right? It took me a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, the name did not sound familiar, but when I saw the face, I was like, oh, okay, I know that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. He's doing the thing with Billy Crystal. He's got the FX show right now.
Right, right, yeah, and he did, he's the voice in Frozen. He's in Wedding Ringer, 21, that card counting movie. But yeah, I thought that was cool. Let's see here.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, did you see the new trailer for Macbeth?
No, I hadn't.
Oh, okay, yeah, Michael Fassbender. I don't know. It's just it looks intense, but it looks amazing. Looks gorgeous.
Okay.
And, I mean, I'm pretty sure Michael Fassbender isn't going to be in every film in the next 10 years.
I'm all for that. Like he's good. I like him.
Oh yeah. But it's a cool trailer. You should go definitely check it out.
Okay, yeah, we'll do.
Yeah. Oh, did you see what Michael Shannon?
I got this made me laugh so hard. Like I couldn't believe people thought he was serious.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't think he was serious, but we read the news when it happened, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. Flippers? Okay, what could that be? And yeah, no, I mean, I'll quote him. He said, somebody was asking me about this in New York, and I made up some ridiculous bullshit answer about how my character Zod has flippers. And this went viral on the internet or something, and people have been asking me about that. That's obviously a complete bullshit story, right? But people took it seriously.
I'm telling you, like, that's kind of just, like, the epitome of how much, like, we eat up every single detail. I mean, for God's sakes, we have a 2-hour podcast about every bit of news we can find on things.
Right.
But sometimes, you have to look at something and just say, this is insane. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, exactly. And so I honestly wish more actors would do this because, they'll get on these TV shows and they'll get on all these things where let's get a sound bit, tell us about give us something about this thing coming out. And they can't tell you anything. They can't spoil it. So it would be funny if a lot of them just started pretending to accidentally give scoops and it was just total BS.
Oh yeah.
I would love that.
My favorite anything like this was when Harrison Ford was on Conan, and Conan was bribing him to try and get him to tell him something about Star Wars, and Harrison said, okay, I tell you, I hear they're thinking about doing another one. Like
right.
that was it, and I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah,
that's how you shut that crap down.
Oh yeah. So that was cool. And I should have led right into this one. Did you see the Michael Fassbender image of Assassin's Creed?
I did.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that movie now.
Yeah, no, you're a fan of the Assassin's Creed. I've played them, but I've never got into them.
Yeah.
So you're excited for it now because you saw the image, or were you excited before at all?
Well, here's the thing. That's one of those movies that they've made 1,000 times already. They just never called it Assassin's Creed.
That's true.
It's an ancient spy movie. Is basically what it's gonna be.
Right.
Or not ancient, but you know what I mean. It's not in ye olde modern times,
Right.
So, we'll see. We'll see what
He,
happens.
he's one of those actors, and we just talked about it. Like, I hear he's in a movie, my ears perk up. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
well, at least know we'll get a good performance, So I'm excited. But yeah, so let's move right on to some television news. You take the first one here about SOA.
Oh yeah, Kurt Sutter, who created Sons of Anarchy for FX. They are reportedly working with him on a spin-off that focuses on the one of the rival clubs, the Mayans.
Okay. Yeah, the Spanish ones.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting.
It will be.
Just to see like the same, and I'd be curious to see like what kind of tone it takes. What's the focus? The Sons of Anarchy was very much Hamlet on motorcycles.
Right, exactly. And you saw there was a lot of Irish, just a lot of white people doing it. It'd be cool to see kind of like a Latino, thing. And it's going to have I think it's going to have a different tone, but it'd be cool to see little glimpses of the original show that we saw, in characters and whatnot. Some characters obviously we won't see.
Yeah.
But it's being developed by the same guy, so clearly he's got some stories in mind. He feels he's not done with this world yet, so I know that was a big show for a lot of people. Me personally, dude, by the end of that show, I hated all of them. I was like, can they all die now? I don't know. It was just weird because it's just one of those shows. Unlike The Sopranos, I know Sopranos, you're supposed to just feel uncomfortable liking Tony Soprano, and I did. I liked Tony Soprano. I was rooting for him the whole time, even though he's a bad guy. And this is kind of the same thing with Jack. At first you're like, okay, that's the guy we're going to root for in the series, but then towards the end you're just like, he's so unlikable. At least to me.
Yeah, fair. That's fair, I suppose.
And I mean, I hear, but the thing is, I hear the same thing when people watch Breaking Bad. Even though I liked Walter White's character, and then he did a lot of bad things. So my friends say the exact same thing. They're like, no, by the end of that, I did not like him. Like he purposely kind of, I don't want to get into spoilers of Breaking Bad, but there's a lot of things he did that wasn't the same character, of course, in the beginning of the series, and not the same decisions someone personally would make. So it was funny hearing the same kind of things, kind of about the same kind of show, about just a very flawed character in a world of really flawed characters.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we got some other news here. I saw that Under the Dome was canceled after 3 seasons.
Yeah, which is a bummer because it's like the last thing that they're making here in North Carolina.
Oh, really?
Well, what's happened is you see like a lot of stuff is being shot in they made Jurassic World in Louisiana. Right. The Walking Dead is in Georgia. For God's sake, they're filming Family Feud in Georgia. Like that's.
They were doing that in Orlando for a little bit.
Yeah. But but I mean that's the thing. Like other states are stepping up and saying, "Hey, we'll give
taxes.
We'll give better incentives and whatnot." And North Carolina decided, "Hey, we're gonna get rid of the incentives we already have."
Jeez, yeah. And North Carolina was big for a while. CW, all their shows were shot there.
Under the Dome was here. God, they did something else in Wilmington that I can't remember off the top of my head.
I know they did Dawson's Creek and One Tree Hill.
They did Dawson's Creek and One Tree Hill. They did.
It was like the same town. It was the same town. Yeah. The same show, yeah.
But there was one more that I can't remember.
Well, at one point, that was the second most filmed location in the United States, next to California. And now it's just wide open, especially like you said with Louisiana. There was a movie. I remember that's when Louisiana started getting big. It was that one with Sean William Scott and Johnny Knoxville. Was it Dukes of Hazzard? Yeah, it was Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
I remember my buddy telling me that he worked on that set, doing sound and stuff. And he was like, yeah, Louisiana is going to be huge in the next few years because of all the incentives, and he was absolutely right.
He was totally bang on. Yeah, I graduated from Full Sail just in time to move up to a place where they decided to get rid of all the film incentives. They replaced it with like this ridiculous loan program. They didn't get it. Like they clearly just did not get it.
Right, yeah, oh yeah, exactly. And so, so that's why, I mean, you see at the end of some films, like shot in New York. New York's really trying to do that. New York, Chicago, you see a lot of things in Chicago, like the Transformers and whatnot. Even Detroit is trying to. That's where they shot the Batman vs Superman, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Teams in Detroit, and some things are shot in Florida, but they just, it's usually Miami or something.
It's
like
Miami, yeah.
Right. Like I think Ballers was shot there and whatnot, but yeah, that's it. It's a lot of these other states and places are smartening up, and they're going, hey, this is going to bring an industry here. Why don't we do this? And it even brings crazy fans too, because like I can't tell you, I had 2 or 3 of my friends who went to that place where Dawson's Creek was shot, just because I think they were going through it or something like that. They're like, yeah, it was kind of cool to see the same streets and whatever for a minute,
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I could see people doing that, and especially the film industry, especially when a lot of it now is going to be shot in China, because they're really wanting to put some of their films in some of their areas in the films, like they did with Iron Man and Transformers, which backfired for Transformers.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, they're like, oh no, take that segment out.
Oh,
yeah.
Boy. Well, you can't win them all.
Exactly. Let's see here. Let's skip around because some other ones I want to talk about later. Did you see this Narcos thing on Netflix?
I've seen about it, but I haven't watched it yet. But it does look good.
This is one of those. Every once in a while I'll hear about a series, and then I'll hear it's 6 months later or something like that. This is one that I haven't heard anything about. And we've probably talked about it before, so I'm just forgetting. But it looks cool. I saw the trailer. I'm in, man.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, I guess I should talk about what it's about. It's about Pablo Escobar. Yeah, it's about Pablo Escobar and that whole cartel. And I don't know if it's the rise and fall of him or whatnot, but it looks cool. So I'm totally in. But yeah, no, we'll take a fast break here, and we'll come back and talk a little bit more about some TVs, get into some video games. We'll talk about the Autumn Lands, the comic that we read this week, and we'll have some review stories. So we'll be right back. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. And we're back. All right, man. So yeah, there's one. Did you see? We'll talk about Fear the Walking Dead in a little bit, about what we thought of the episode. But did you see that they were going to introduce a new character in the spin-off series? But it's going to be via a special they're going to do, and the special is going to take place on a plane during the whole Walking Dead catastrophe that breaks out.
That's different, like that's it's one area that they haven't explored yet. How would this happen on a plane, Exactly.
Now, we saw glimpses of something like that in that, what was that zombie movie with Brad Pitt? World
War Z. Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Right. But that scene on that plane was, I hate that they showed it in the trailer. But that scene on that plane was like, okay, we're in a sardine box here. Can. No, I'm saying box. We're in a sardine can here. And you could feel the tension. You knew something was going to happen. And that's one place you would not want a zombie outbreak to happen rapidly. Because what do you do?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, well, don't go near, so that's, I think it's really interesting. And I like that AMC is like, we have this thing right now. It's making buku money. The new show, it did drop some numbers. I think it dropped like 3 million, but in the long run, 8 million for the second episode is not bad.
Some series would kill for 8 million.
Oh yeah, dude, exactly. So I saw some news that they're like, oh, it dropped to 8 million. Some people are not. We'll talk about it later, but I really do like the new series. And having like a special, like kind of how they do like a Doctor Who special in Christmas time, I think that's so cool. Embrace it. What do you think?
I think it's great, and it makes sense. I mean, this has gotten so big now that the premiere party, it's not a red carpet premiere or anything. It's a premiere fan party at Madison freaking Square Garden.
Yeah,
that's how big this is. Are you kidding me? They're gonna spin this as many ways as they can, and it only makes sense.
Oh yeah. Walking Dead is AMC's huge show right now. So they have to. They got rid of Breaking Bad. Mad Men's gone. This is their anchor right now, and they're coming out with some cool stuff. I love *Halt and Catch Fire*. Like, that's one of my. Oh, I love that show. So I can't wait for the new season. But this is the moneymaker right now, and they're fully embracing it. So I'm all on board. WWE, the Raw came out this week. What'd you think of it?
I didn't watch it yet.
Oh, you didn't watch it yet?
I know, I feel terrible.
Oh, okay.
Well, because I've had, the last couple days have been kind of crazy, and then when I got Until Dawn today, I wasn't even thinking. I was like, oh, that's Steve Yard. I didn't even think about that until an hour before we started recording. I was like,
no worries. Well, there's one big thing that came out of it. Do you want me to tell you, or if not?
I have seen this piece of news.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So it came out of it that Rollins is going to fight Cena and Sting in the pay-per-view. So he'll be doing 2 fights. And so I don't understand that angle. I guess they're just trying to make Rollins look really good.
Yeah.
So hey, he's going to fight twice, and is he going to lose one of them? Like I said, I would love if he loses his title to Sting. That would be fantastic, but doubtful. It would be a surprise. It would be I feel like now we're only seeing the title switch at WrestleMania. I think that sucks.
Well, look, I'm all in favor of not having, because back in the early 2000s, you had a new champion every 6 months, and that I think diluted what the World Heavyweight Championship meant.
Right. At least he's there fighting for it every week.
Exactly. That's why, looking back on it now, I love Triple H's World Heavyweight Championship reign. Because he held that thing for I don't know how long, but he had just crazy feuds. He and everybody from Booker T to Shawn Michaels to Scott Steiner to Shelton Benjamin. He and Shelton Benjamin on Raw is probably one of their best matches. That was a fantastic World Heavyweight Championship match. And it was something so out of the blue. They were like, this kid? Really? This guy that's been here a year? And they were like, yeah, do it. This kid's got talent. And it was a way to showcase him and build him. And unfortunately, it all kind of fell apart after that. But, it's a good try.
Yeah, see, that was around the time where I wasn't watching wrestling at all. So, but yeah, man, that's cool. I like that idea. I guess Sting came out. So, but yeah, man. So we got some more TV news here. Let's see. We got. Did you see the Supergirl news?
I did.
Right, so you take it because I don't want to mess up his first.
You don't want to. It's Ito Goldberg. I'm pretty sure it's Ito. It could be Ito, but I'm gonna go with Ito.
Right.
He was in Salem. He was in Peaky Blinders, which was also on Netflix.
Right.
And he's been cast as Dr. T.O. Morrow. And for anybody who's not really DC familiar, this is the guy who creates the android Red Tornado.
Right.
Which I always saw was DC's answer to the Vision.
Yep, that's exactly what it was.
And I'm, I don't know which one came first, but I always thought that Vision came first, so I always saw it that way. So, but he's gonna play both the Doctor and the android, so that'll be interesting.
Gotta love that name, T.O. Morrow.
Yeah, it's hey, we're not trying to be clever at all here.
Right. Exactly. So, that's cool news. I like that they're getting these strange characters. There was a run not too long ago. I forgot what year it was, so I'm not even going to attempt to guess. I remember the cover of the Justice League, I think it was Justice League America, JLA, and it had all these superheroes on it, and Red Tornado, that was kind of my first introduction to him. He was picked to be on the team. And, I don't know, he was a cool character. He was told, it's the same thing as Vision. Android, so it's pretty cool. So, that'd be awesome to see him on it. I also saw some cool information, some cool news here. Amazon became the first streaming service to offer offline viewing on iOS and Android.
Really?
Right, yeah. So if you are part of their Amazon Prime, any of their shows you can download to the device. I don't know if there's a limit. It's kind of like the Marvel Comics app where you can download, I think, up to 12 comics 7 or 12 comics, and you can read them offline on an airplane. So it's perfect for, like, if you have this Amazon Prime and you have an iPad or an Android device, you can download the series to your iPad, go on a plane, not worry about using your data or anything else, and getting off the plane, and, it's yours. And this is separate from the episodes that you buy and whatnot. So, of course, if you stop doing your Amazon Prime for a year, that goes away. You're not going to be able to view it or whatever. But I think that's really cool. I imagine it's just going to be on those type of portable devices where you can't really take the files and move them anywhere.
Right.
Like on a computer, yeah. So,
right.
But that's cool. I thought that was interesting.
It is neat. Yeah. I always kind of wondered if anybody would try that, just because it does lend itself to the more unsavory tactics of those with that kind of skill, I suppose.
Exactly. Well, let's save the next one for last, I'm thinking.
Okay.
I did see that they're doing a Sawyer and Huck TV show.
I couldn't believe this until, like, I stumbled across this the other day, and I thought, what in the hell is going on here?
Right. How are they going to do this?
It's modern day, and it's Tom Sawyer, Private Eye, and he hires Huck to, like, be his assistant, basically. And it's like Huck and Finn detective agency, more or less.
Okay.
Yeah, that was exactly my thought when I heard this.
I imagine it's going to be like in the South.
I don't know. Maybe.
Or, because just when I think Huck and Finn, I just think of two kids in the woods or something, or painting a fence, or on a boat or something, or were they on a steamboat or something? I don't know. I'm trying to think of Huck and Finn. And I just think of that kind of time frame.
It would help if you realized Huck and Finn were the same person.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Tom Sawyer on Huckleberry Finn. My
there
bad.
We go.
Yeah, no, my bad. And then there was a remake. Wasn't there a movie? It had, it was a kid from
JTT. Yeah.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Yeah. I remember seeing that movie in the 90s.
And I think that was Tom and Huck.
Tom and Huck, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, they're like, now suddenly they're going to be, big city crime solvers. Like, that can't, no, come on, really?
No.
Who thought this was a good idea?
Yeah, I didn't get that bit of information about the, being detectives or whatnot. So that's interesting. Man, we've really run out of ideas, haven't we?
I'm telling you, like, what? Like,
Speaking of the next one, actually, you take the next one about Dracula, because those names I'm going to butcher.
You're gonna, yeah. Greg Berlanti, who, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't his production company doing Arrow and Supergirl and whatnot? That's them, right?
Mm-hmm. I believe so. Yeah.
He and Roberto Aguirre Sacasa.
Yeah, he did Arrow, The Flash, Wrath of the Titans, and our fan favorite Green Lantern 2011 Ryan Reynolds film. But he did The Flash and Arrow. So.
Hey, you take you learn even from the Hindenburg taught us something.
Exactly.
But so anyway, they are teaming up to bring Brides of Dracula to NBC.
Yeah, isn't that going to be good?
For some reason, like they've. Remember the Munsters remake?
Right. You know what? Did you see the pilot of that?
I did, and it didn't really suck.
Right. I thought that would be a cool idea. That's something that I thought would be cool to bring back. But yeah, it didn't go anywhere. It didn't have any traction.
No.
And it was when I think Brides of Dracula, I'm thinking like, what's that? What was that old TV show? It was the Housewives. God, what is it called?
Which one, man? There's been
like the
12...
drama, like not the one, the Housewives of Atlanta or anything. I'm just thinking Housewife now. Now I'm thinking Housewives of Atlanta, but Dracula.
Yeah.
Housewives of Atlanta. No. I'm thinking of like it was
Desperate Housewives.
That's it. Yeah. There you go. Ding, ding, ding. I was thinking Desperate Housewives, like Dracula, Desperate Housewives. No. I just Brides of Dracula. I don't know what that would. I don't know.
No, I
I thought we were out of this like supernatural phase on television.
I
And
guess
it was
not.
taken over kind of by comic book stuff now. So.
We will not go quietly into the night.
Right.
It's okay, sure, whatever.
Exactly. So did you see this news about the Flash?
I did, and I think this is good news. Like I like,
Right.
because yeah.
No, go ahead.
Well, because like I was gonna say, like with the Reverse Flash, all they did was just they threw a modulator on his voice.
Mm-hmm.
But with Zoom in season 2, they're getting a different actor to voice it. They're getting Tony Todd to do it.
Right.
And that's great because he's creepy as hell.
He is absolutely. I love this casting, and God, there's just the Flash. That every news I get from that show, I'm like, yes, I'm on board. They know what they're doing. I wish a lot of other shows would follow that.
I know, right?
And we've had a lot of news. Like, we could have probably, if we didn't talk about the Flash for all these weeks, we could have probably done 2 hours on just Flash news.
Yeah, right, if we'd saved it all up, sure.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all good news, so. But yeah, man, so, well, we're going to get into some video games, some comics, some reviews in a little bit, but we're going to take a real fast break. I'll be back in just a moment. Again, you're listening to us, We Geek Podcast. We're on the.fm. Listen to us on iTunes and Android, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. And yeah, man, well, let's get into some video game news. Now, I know you told me you were playing Until Dawn, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. I downloaded some Metal Gear Solid stuff, but I kind of wanted to bring up one story about Metal Gear Solid. And I don't know if you saw this video.
I did.
If you did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, good. And listeners, if you haven't seen it, it's the you say his name because I mispronounced his first name.
Hideo Kojima.
Hideo Kojima, yes. He said his goodbye, and it's like a goodbye video. It's on YouTube. I think it's under the Konami US YouTube page, but it's great. You know, the first like 10 minutes or so, it's a lot of game journalists and people in the industry interviewing him. And actually, Greg Miller from Kind of Funny, it's another podcast thing I listen to, is one of the guys that interviews him. And he tells him about like one of his favorite things in it, and it's a lot of that, but that end story.
Oh man, it just I hadn't heard this story before.
All right,
and it's it was somebody who was a fan, and I don't want to get his name wrong, but I believe it was Sean.
It was Sean, yeah.
Yeah, and he was a big fan, and he was going through chemotherapy treatment, and he would escape when he came back. He would escape into video games, and he was a huge Metal Gear fan.
And I think we all do that on some level.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And, of course, someone going through something like that, like to have that thing that brings a smile to your face, that's, just how important, sometimes we get lost in, like, being cynical about a lot of this news or whatever, a lot of this stuff going into all of this or whatever. And it was really cool to see him take a moment and be like, this is kind of what it's about.
Yeah.
We could spend a lot of time talking about what happened, with him in the studio and whatever. And I'm sure we'll hear a lot more news coming out of that. But it was really cool and humble of him to show this. And, because it was like you, I've never seen that story before, and so it was just, it was heartbreaking. And, it really showed that, he put a lot of himself into this game, and it meant a lot to him. And of course it meant a lot to him to go see the kid's family.
Yeah, and that was what was so cool to just that he made the trip to say your son inspired us,
right?
To make something that he would have been proud of, like
right.
Where else do you see that? Man,
exactly.
It was just intense.
Oh yeah, and he got sent. Apparently, he got sent the game. It was 4 days before he passed away. So. Yeah. Apparently he got to see some bit of it, so it's, it was heartbreaking. But, speaking about Kojima though, it's going to be interesting seeing what he does next. I think that's what we're all kind of waiting for, He did Metal Gear for 28 years.
Yeah, that's insane.
Like, that's about as old as us, so that's insane. That's absolutely crazy. That's an eternity. So,
and especially in this business.
Yeah.
Like in video games, you think of video games 28 years ago. You know, you're going back to 1987. You're going back to NES, and you're thinking this is where we are. This is what we're at. And to follow a series from Metal Gear all the way up to now. I mean, if you want to break down the evolution of this medium, that's, you know, just look at that series start to finish.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hell of a legacy in and of itself.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I'll always say Metal Gear Solid for PlayStation 1 changed the way I looked at video games. It really did. I stopped looking at them maybe in the same vein a lot of other people do who kind of like grew out of it or whatever, and I started looking them as like a real form of storytelling and just engagement in the game. Like, you know, you go back and look at the videos now, and yes, there's, you know, oh god, they're working with, you know, PS1 graphics, but at that time you were like, holy crap, I've never played a stealth game like this before.
Well, and just I'll never forget, like, that was the first game where it felt like you had that moment, you know. And for different people, it was different things. But for me, it will always be after taking down Metal Gear Rex, the fight on top of it.
Oh,
just that hand-to-hand duel. And that was why they went out on that similar note with Guns of the Patriots.
Right.
And they did that same kind of sequence, because that was at the end of it all. At the end, you know, the big geopolitical, every theme and tone and message, all of that aside, it still boils down to two soldiers.
Right.
And that's and it's just you know, I was what, 9, 10 back then maybe, and still, like, playing that, I was like, that was just the most awesome thing ever.
Oh, I am a little bit older than you, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know what year I think I was in middle school, or, you know, what year did it come out, Metal Gear Solid?
What, 98?
Okay, I was in middle school then, yeah.
I think. I'm not entirely 100%, but I think 98, 99.
Yeah, I remember I got it for the PlayStation, and, you know, God bless my dad, when I wanted a Nintendo 64, and he was like, and he worked at Sears at the time. He had like a few different jobs, and he got the PlayStation, and, you know, I am appreciative of any gift I'm given, you know, and especially if I get a PlayStation, I was super excited. And, you know, we were going through games, and I told him, I was like, I don't really know anything for the PlayStation, because I was hoping to get a 64. I knew all the, you know, I wanted to get Star Wars and all that other stuff, and I was kind of, not forced, because it sounds so dumb, but I just was outside of my element. And I was like, okay, let's try these games. And I remember hearing about Metal Gear Solid, and I was like, I want that. And that was my big Christmas gift that year. And as a kid, getting something like that, you know, with video, at least with me, you only get like 1 or 2 video games a year. And that's all I got, you know, for video games. And that was the one where I played, and I sat down with my buddy who lived down the road, and, you know, he heard I got it, so we would sit there and play. And then when, you know, he had to go home, I stopped playing. Because we wanted to finish it together. We wanted to know the story together. I didn't want to, you know, go any further or whatnot. So every day we would play and play and play. And I don't know how long it took us, but when it was done, it was like, wow, that was amazing. Never did that with any other video game. I played other video games with friends around that time, like, you know, GoldenEye and everything else, like everyone else did, but it was a different experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was real good storytelling. And it made it a viable platform for that. You know, because before that, to me at least, there wasn't anything where I was like, this is a good story. It was just like, no, that's fun to play. It's just good gameplay. Where this was like, oh, wow, this is interesting. And it's telling us something. And it's hard. Like, I remember being very, at least for me, it was super hard. Because I was used to going in gun blazing and not preparing and rationing things and hiding and sneaking around and knocking on walls and, you know, the little alert thing popping up their head. It was super cool. And, you know, looking back, it's kind of weird I didn't play any of the other ones, because I guess I was just at different places in my life or whatever. But I'm glad I got the new one. And, you know, all the perfect scores across the board gets me really excited. That's why when it downloaded last night at midnight, you know, I thought to myself, do I really want to I want to, I hate to say this, but I kind of want to wait until this weekend when I have the day off and then let it all soak in. I don't want to play a few hours after work, get tired, and I want to sit down, wake up in the morning, put it in, turn off my phone for the day, and just kind of relax with it.
Oh no, yeah, I absolutely understand.
Oh yeah. I might get until dawn and do that at night because that sounds like a game you play at night.
Oh man, we'll get into that.
Right. But yeah, so I thought that was cool. So anyway, we got some Star Wars Battlefront news.
This was awesome news. Like I bounced off the ceiling when I heard this news.
Yeah. EA announced beta is coming early October. Will include Walker Assault on Hoth, seen at the E3 demo, which looked amazing. Several missions on Tatooine, similar to the other E3 demo, and a new mode called Drop Zone, which I have no idea what that's about.
Yeah, but they just said, and this. It's like, and we'll talk about that, later.
Right. And I'm going to see what we can do about getting us some codes, because I might know someone who knows someone, and that would be freaking amazing. Yeah, so I can't wait for that.
Well, I think, isn't this going to be, is this a closed beta, or is this an open beta?
I have no idea. I mean, I thought it would be one where you got to get, an email or something, but if it's open, holy crap.
I think the idea, they would be smart to do an open beta.
Right.
Just because day one it's going to crash.
Right.
No company, and it amazes me every time. It blew my mind with GTA Online.
Well,
they weren't ready.
To be fair, we'll talk actually about this in a few minutes, but did you play the Modern Warfare open beta?
No.
Well, it was a beta for anyone who pre-ordered the game.
Yeah, that's not an open beta.
Okay. Well, if you know the trick, which I'll talk about in a second, it is open. But yeah, no, you're right. You had to pre-order the game, you get a code, yada yada yada. That went smoothly, and it actually, we'll talk about that in a second.
Well, and that's the thing though. They have that data. Like they know what to expect.
Well, what was great about it was at the beginning it was, did you pre-order the game? You're in. And then Saturday, they sent out a tweet. Oh, by the way, if you're on PlayStation, just go download the demo now, and you could play the game. And it was for everybody. I'm sure they just wanted to test the servers.
Sure.
But when they made it open for everybody, a whole bunch of people jumped in. I think I posted it on our site, on our webpage, on the Facebook group. But it was. That's what me and my friends. Actually, that's one thing I was going to talk about is, playing that beta. It was open for anybody, and then I think Xbox is doing it soon. But that went smoothly. I didn't have any issues. I was able to jump in. I had a lot of fun with it. But we'll talk about it in a little bit. I want to talk about that later. But yeah, man. So it's. I hope this is open. That's what is that what you saw? That it's for everybody?
Well, it didn't say, and that to me, the fact that it wasn't. I would have thought had it been some kind of closed beta, they would have said.
Oh, okay.
That's the way I'm thinking. I mean, it could go either way, I guess, but that's my way of looking at it anyway.
Okay. Hey, I'm in. And did you see that it came with like a card game or something, or there was a downloaded app?
Yeah, there's a companion app for it.
There's a companion
app.
Okay.
Well, they've got to have something like that with everything now, more or less.
Oh yeah, well the one for Destiny, and I know you don't know much about it, because you haven't played it in a while. The one for Destiny is perfect. You can take stuff in and out of your vault. You can see where you're at with the Grimmer cards, where basically you kill 1,000 Vex. Anytime you kill Vex, you get 10% damage increase. Or you use this gun so many times, and you get, I don't know, what is it, like 150,000 kills with it. In Crucible, you get or in one of the modes, you get a little bit more damage. Stuff like that. You can kind of see it on that app, which should be in the game, but it's there on the app. So like being on a mission or something and swapping out your weapon, or looking at items and swapping it out with having to go back, I love it. So if EA does the same kind of thing for Battlefront, which I don't think it's going to be, but if they do, that would be awesome. So you can kind of do it there on your hands, and you don't have to fumble around with anything in the game. So that would be cool. But yeah, man, I really do hope that's open, because that yeah, well, I wouldn't have to talk to anybody about doing anything, and that would be perfect. And you probably won't see me. I won't be in Destiny for that month, which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, I've been telling my friends like, that it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because I've never really been this into a game in a long time, and I'm excited because there was a time where I'm like, I wish there was a game I could be excited about playing. And now there is, but at the same time, it's like I'm putting all this other stuff to the side, and
Right.
not important stuff. I'm taking care of important stuff, but I mean like all my other little fun hobbies, or other games I could be playing. But we'll be right back. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. Be right back. All right, man. So yeah, we'll actually talk a little bit about welcome back, by the way, and we'll talk a little bit about Modern Warfare in a little bit. But since we kind of touched on Destiny as well, I want to talk a little bit about that. There was some news coming out this week for you Destiny players out there that with the expansion coming out, there's a few things. Not everything in the hold on a second. Not everything. Let me rephrase that. Whenever the game ships, if you don't have the Taken King expansion, you're still gonna get like a lot of the stuff. All the quests in the old game you're going to get the new fresh paint, I guess you would say, on it. You're gonna get all the new systems, the new updates, everything. It's gonna kind of be like playing the World of Warcraft in a way, and that I guess that's where they took a lot of their things from. Where basically, if you don't have the expansion, don't worry, you're still going to see a lot of the new content. You're just not going to be able to go to what's called the Dreadnought and do the new raid and get some of the new guns and whatnot. It's going to be a lot of, but you're still going to see a lot of the stuff in the world, and a lot of the fixes they're doing to the menus and how the game actually works. You'll get that change as well. There was one thing I wanted to kind of talk about that I did over the weekend with my friends, and it was this Destiny emblem, basically, that you had to get. Now, how many trophies do you have? How many platinums?
85.
Holy cow, man! How did you? We can talk about that, but yeah, man, that's a lot. You know how many platinums I have? 0. Man, yeah, I know there was one point you were like you just went after platinum trophies for your PS3.
Well, after you talk about Destiny, we'll talk about that.
Okay, yeah, because this is gonna sound like nothing compared to that. There was one thing when I jumped back into Destiny after however many months of not playing. I got Destiny last year around September when everyone else did. I played it for 3 months or so, 3 or 4 months, and I quit. And my buddies still played along. So when I jumped back in, it was 2 months ago maybe, and I was like, oh, okay, catch me back up. So I started doing all the raids that I missed. I missed everything. There was no raid when I started the game. So I did the 2 raids plus the 1 Prisoner of Elders thing, and I was like, okay, I want to kind of catch up on what I missed. And so far I have. And there was this thing basically where if you do a certain amount of things in the game, you get a special emblem. And I was like, that's my goal. There's going to be 9 years. That's their plan. 9 years of Destiny. And they're actually calling it years. The end of the first year is with this new expansion coming out. And I want the emblem. And the emblem basically you have to reach max level. I think of 20. If you have light, you get 34. You have to beat the Black Garden mission. You have to prevent the summoning of Crota's soul, which is finishing the Dark Below story missions, which was the first expansion. You have to capture Skolas, which is finish House of Wolves story mission, which was the last expansion. The other thing was beat Skolas in the Prison of Elders. That was the hardest thing. Beat Atheon in hard difficulty, beat Crota in hard difficulty, finish 50 public events, win 100 Crucible matches, which is the multiplayer, and get all 20 golden chests, which they just put all over the planets. Dude, I was okay. So let me tell you, when we did the Prison of Elders, there's 6 different it's what's that? What's in Gears of War? It's called Horde mode.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, where they just throw enemies at you.
Yeah, waves. Waves, I think is what you're looking for, yeah.
Exactly. So it's 6 different waves, and the last one is Skullus. And the first few are fine. Now there's 3 waves in each thing. So there's 6 sets of 3, if that makes sense. So you're doing 3, and then you go into the next wave. Or, I'm sorry, you do 3 waves, and then you go into the second one. You do 3 waves, and then you go into the third one. So on and so forth. Right around 3 or 4, they send in these waves, but you have to detonate mines across the map. 3 of them, in a specific order. So it gets hard, and they throw all these enemies at you, and then they switch it up. They put all these different things on it to say in this one you have to if you shoot your primary ammo, you won't get any back. you have to shoot the other kind of ammo to get that back, so on and so forth. So anyway, the mines were the hardest part. We started this at 11 p.m. and we ended at 4 in the morning because that's how long it took. Or I might be off an hour or so, but it was like I am off. My bad. I'm sorry. It took 3 or 4 hours. And so at the end of it, the Skullus one, it's what I was just saying. The mines, these things kill you in 2 or 3 shots. But what made it so difficult is there's this, after you get him to about 75%, one person's infected. There's 3 people in your group. One person's infected. After 17 seconds, you have to pass it to the second person within a 2-second time frame. And then, after 17 seconds, within a 2-second time frame, you have to pass it to the third person. You can't pass it to the original person because there's a timer on him as well. So you have to rotate this the whole fight while you're detonating mines. Dude, that's why it took forever. But I wanted it because you had to get that in order to finish the year 1. And so now, when the Taken King comes out, I'm going to get that one emblem that you had to do all these things in order to get it, and I would be kicking myself if, year 7, I'm looking at my character and I have every single year checked off except for 1. So that was my weekend. And it was fun. Like I said, the team of people I've been playing with, they love the game. They're just like you and me. They work, they do their thing, they have their life. But Destiny is their game. It's kind of like people play League of Legends. They don't play any other game. They just play League of Legends. That's kind of how this group is. They do play other games, but Destiny's the one where it's like, hey, you're going to be on tonight. You're going to do this, blah, blah, blah. I want to run this. I want to run that. Let's do this. And so that was kind of my weekend. Plus Iron Banner was on, so. Yeah, man, that was a ton of fun. Is there any game like that you've played where you're just like, I have to do all this crazy stuff?
Skyrim
Okay.
was it.
Yeah, so you just had the checklist and you were like, I wanted to get every trophy?
Yeah, that was it. Like, I went through and did the story. Like, that's how I play. I'll go through and and I'll do, no matter what it is. Like, I've tried to do it so many other ways. It's like, no, you have to complete everything as you go. I'm like, that's what, New Game Plus or something like that is for.
Right.
I go through and I do the story. And I was like, okay, great. Now what? Well, now you have all of this to do. And I was like, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here forever. I'm going to be in this game forever.
Yeah. Yeah, man, and I gotta say, it was tons of fun. Like, that's the one thing about Destiny I absolutely love. And if you look at it playing single player, I would not expect anyone lasting a month in that game. Yeah. I would never play that game by myself for a month. Same with World of Warcraft. You got stuff to do in it, to keep yourself busy, but I'd be bored to tears. It's fun to play with other people. It's a social thing, I guess. You can talk to them, you can whatever, and oh man, so it was just a time frame thing because that's the other thing I was going to bring up. People have 1 week to do this in. They just did the refresh last night or this morning at 5 a.m. and they made the modifiers and that's the thing is they changed the modifiers each week for this. So 1 week it's one set of things there's one called Light Switch where basically in Light Switch you're shot and you're killed with one shot. And so that's the impossible week to do it. This week, there's a lot of easy modifiers on it, really simple ones, because they're basically saying, hey, here's the last week to do it. If you don't do it this week, you're never going to do it. And so that was kind of cool. So I did it last week, so it wasn't as hard, but it wasn't as difficult as it could be. And so, I was telling my buddies, I'm like, this is really important. I want to do this, and thank God, two of them helped me out. And it's really cool. And that, so I hope next year or moving forward, some of the people that listen or you jump in and play a little bit, because I love that game. On the flip side, I got Metal Gear Solid and didn't play it. So that's the bad part of it. Is, I'm not playing the games I want to play, or I'm not, there was some other stuff I could have done, that I didn't, because I was just like, here's my free time for, I have the next few hours. I'd rather play Destiny. And so, there's a lot of other games on my, on the back burner here, like Axiom Verge I want to finish, Tomb Raider I want to finish. There's a lot of other games I have there that I just haven't finished. But I think Metal Gear is going to be kind of like what Batman was, where I'm just there for 2 or 3 weeks, and it's supposed to be 30 hours regular. And then if you really want to push it, there's like 40 to 50, maybe even 60 hours. Like, apparently there's an ending to the game, but that's only about halfway through to get the true ending.
Okay.
Which is really cool. So, and that's the other thing. We'll get more into some video game news in a little bit, but from what I've been hearing, and this isn't a spoiler in any way, but I hear that in this Metal Gear, I'm kind of jumping off a place I know, but in this Metal Gear game, it doesn't have big giant boss battles. There's big battles, but it's not like the other ones. But but from what I understand, the reason why this is getting 10s out of 10s is the gameplay. It's fun to play. That's what I keep hearing, is that people want to jump in it. And so that's what's going to break me from Destiny. And so for the next, I don't know, Taken King comes out in 3 weeks. So I don't have much to do in Destiny now that I've accomplished this huge thing that I've been trying to do for like the last 2 months. So I have like 3 weeks to kind of relax and play. Actually, I'm just kidding. It's 2 weeks now. I'm going to play Metal Gear Solid and hopefully knock it out, because, I just forgot. I still have The Witcher to play. That's the other thing. Oh my God. And it's, I'm not complaining. I'm blessed to be able to afford these games to play.
Yeah, what horrible lives we live.
Exactly. I don't mean to complain or anything like that. So I'm glad that I can afford them and I have the time to do them, and it's nice. But it's man, I really hope you maybe think about Destiny when the Taken King comes out, because it'd be really cool to get you in there. And I got to know, like, I knew one of the guys in our group that we play with, like, in real life for years, and the other guys that I've met, talking to or whatever, it's so cool now. Like, my buddy doesn't even have to be on, and they'll invite me, and it's super cool and it's super chill, and it's fun to mess around with them and make jokes. And there's a part in the game in the multiplayer where, like, the heavy comes every 4 minutes or so, and anytime we're like all ready to go there before the other team comes and kills us, he'll be on the other side of the map and he'll be like, "Hey, wait, I'm coming." We're like, no, and every time we get destroyed. I shouldn't say every time, but I'm just like, we can't wait any longer. So I don't know, there's little fun moments like that just makes it cool. And I guess I missed all of this when Call of Duty came out, because this is what everybody loved about Call of Duty. But yeah, man, I just thought it was cool. and that's the other thing. Oh yeah, well we got about a minute here so before we go on break. But the other thing I kind of wanted to talk about, and I guess we'll talk about more when we get back, is the Call of Duty beta. Now, did you play any of it?
I didn't even know it was, like, I knew it was available for, like, pre-order people, but I didn't get the open memo.
Oh wow, I thought I sent you a text. My bad. I'm sorry. But yeah, no, I played a little bit of the beta this weekend. It was the beginning of this weekend. I played a little bit of it before I started doing the Destiny stuff, but it was fun. And I know I keep bringing up Destiny, but they stole so much from it. You get supers in it now. When you start out, you get to pick between, like, I don't even know how many different kinds of characters, but they're like heroes, I guess you would say. So it's like a League of Legends, you get to pick different heroes. That's what this is. So I picked the girl with the bow and arrow. So her special is you get certain amount of, well, actually, I'll talk a little bit more when we get back. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. And yeah, let me tell you a little bit more about the Call of Duty. Yeah, you get a certain amount of classes you get to choose from, and they each have their own like two different kinds of specials, and you get to pick them. The one I picked, she had a bow and arrow, and that's the one I kept seeing in the commercials and whatnot. And the gameplay, to me, there's no other. I mean, I know people love Call of Duty, but I love the way Destiny feels first person shooter. I guess because I've been playing it forever, but it felt a little strange, but a lot of the elements Destiny has been implemented in this, like the supers. It has all of the same supers that Destiny has, pretty much.
Okay.
And it has a lot of, of course, it has a lot of the stuff Call of Duty has, like the one where I don't know if you played where you steal the tags. Acquired kill or whatever. So basically, you're on your team of however many people facing another team of however many people, and you shoot someone on the other team. Their tag drops. Well, if your teammate picks it up, he gets the kill.
Oh.
If you pick it up, you get the kill. If one of their teammates pick it up, no one gets the kill on your team. So you have to get the kill. And so you're kind of playing against your team and their team. So that was really fun. And again, I'm just dumb when it comes to Call of Duty multiplayer, so I've never really played that before. So that was kind of cool. And I know people are screaming at me going, this is the real name of that mode. I think it's called Acquired Kill or something like that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And the trick, and I hope we don't get in trouble with this, but the trick you do with this is on Amazon. You order the game. This is what I did. I don't even know if I should talk about this.
Let's not, just in
Okay.
case.
I'll talk it with you later. But this is the way a lot of people got around getting it, and so that's what I did.
Well, and I mean that's again, it kind of goes back to the idea of offline streaming.
Right.
There are potential flaws in these systems.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. This was an exploit that pretty much everyone did, and it's not breaking any rules. It's totally their policy, and I wasn't doing anything wrong. I should say that right off the bat, But it just goes to show you should just give it to everybody, and that's eventually what they did, and it probably had a lot to do with what everyone was doing to play it. They probably were just like, hey, this is happening, so we should just let everyone play it. And that's what they did. They let everyone play it, which was cool, so, kudos to them. It was just a demo. It was just all, and then they extended it as well. It was supposed to end on Sunday, and I think they pushed it to Monday.
Nice.
So a lot of other people, by that time I was back into Destiny, but a lot of people were playing it and loving it. So, I thought that was cool, but, I don't know if I'm going to get it when it comes out. I'm just going to be, my first-person shooter is totally going to be Destiny when that comes out, and there's, I think it's coming around the same time as, oh no, that's Tomb Raider. I was going to say something's coming out the same time as Fallout 4. I can't believe Tomb Raider is still going to be coming out on the same day.
Yeah, that's not a really great call.
You'd think they'd get well out of the way, right?
Yeah, but
So, what do you like in Call of Duty games? What was the last one you played?
Would have been what was the last one? Advanced Warfare, I guess.
Advanced Warfare.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I can't stand Call of Duty multiplayer. I never, and it wasn't like the people or anything like that. It wasn't like the classic kind of excuses. I just didn't actually like the gameplay. Like I didn't like the pacing. I didn't like, it just wasn't for me.
Right, and see that's my biggest drawback with the Call of Duty multiplayer is, yeah, of course people suck. I don't, I turn off everybody when I do that. But the with Call of Duty the guns are too strong. You get shot once or twice and you're dead. I don't like that. It's so many different kills. I did not like that. I like where Destiny is. The weapons do different things, and it's you got to get hit a lot more in Destiny unless you have a specific kind of weapon, and you have to be really good at that weapon.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the Thorn. In order to get the Thorn gun, it's not just like Call of Duty where you have to, level up or whatever. With Thorn, you have to do a lot of crazy stuff. Like one of them, you have to win, I think it's 200, you get 200 kills in Crucible, which is their multiplayer, with a specific kind of burn on a gun. And I think there's only one or two primary weapons with that kind of burn. So you have to get those weapons first. Or you're using like the heavy weapons. And what sucks about it is it doesn't just you get one kill with it and you get one. You get two, you get two, three, you get three. If you lose two, it takes you back one.
Ouch.
So yeah, it's like you have to start being really there's a lot involved into it. So it's kind of like you're feeling rewarded at the end of the day. So you're like, oh, I have this really powerful gun, and as long as you know how to use it, you can be extremely powerful in it. So I don't know. There's a lot of differences, and I mean I know Call of Duty of course has its huge following. I know people are really excited about playing it. So, but I have to say it was one of the better experiences playing Call of Duty that I've ever had, and maybe it was because I was kind of playing it with people that I like and that I was friends with, where before I was just jumping in, getting killed by 8-year-olds, and I was like, this isn't for me. And the single player is fun with Call of Duty, but that's what happened. I think I bought it and returned it in the same week.
Yeah.
And I never usually do that. I never do that, but I keep tricking myself into thinking, well, maybe this one will be different, and it never is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'll pick up this one, but I might borrow it from a friend, play the story mode, and then hand it back. But yeah. So anyway, we got some other news here in video games. Did you see that? I assume it's because the movie's coming out, but that Deadpool is being re-released onto the PS4 and Xbox One.
I'm all for this because I love the hell out of that game.
I played a little bit. I have it on the PC, but from what I understand, like it's not. I guess it doesn't need to be. Well, for example, you know how what was the one that they just released? My mind just went blank.
Yeah, I don't know what you're looking for, man.
From PS3 to PS4 The Last of Us was one of them. They did like the HD remake. It's not even that, right? It's just going to be Deadpool on it.
It's probably just a port. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is really, like, that's all it needs. Look, Deadpool was like the perfect budget title. Like,
right, well that's, from what I understand, the price is still going to be $50, right?
Man, really? Well, I mean, they're adding in, it did it for some bizarre reason, have DLC. But still, like, that's, make that like a $40 game.
Right, yeah, it's $49.99. I'd wait until that's $20 on the store.
Yeah, at least, because look, I loved it, I enjoyed it, but it's a one and done.
I don't know how they're even able to do this. It was by Activision, and they lost the rights. That's really strange.
Yeah, that is strange.
Yeah, this is a total surprise for me. That was one of the things that I thought about when it came out. I thought, well, that's weird because I know it was pulled off the store and it's pulled from shelves as soon as the deal, as soon as Activision lost the rights. Just like Capcom, you're not going to see Marvel vs. Capcom in the stores. You can't download it through the on your systems anymore.
Yeah.
So they must have...
Is somebody else publishing it? Because all Activision did was publish it. They didn't make it.
Oh, I don't know. It just says Deadpool by Activision.
No. Like, they published it, but, what was it? High Moon Studios? I think that's what it is. They were the ones that actually developed it.
Right, okay, yeah. So High Moon, which is subsidiary, I'm mispronouncing that, of Activision, right?
No. Really?
Yeah, they are.
I know they were... Like, they were, it escapes me.
Their owner is Activision, High Moon Studios.
Because I know they were part of, what am I looking for? I think THQ is what I'm trying to say.
Right, wasn't THQ
right, and then
by Activision?
Well, like, parts of it, though. Like, they auctioned off of...
Yeah, it says here that their parent company is Activision since 2008.
Really?
They were with Sierra Entertainment from 2006 to 2008. Before that, they were independent.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's strange. They did the Transformers games.
Yeah.
And they actually did Call of Duty Advanced Warfare for PS3 and Xbox.
Yeah, they did the last gen ports. Yeah.
Right. So that's really strange.
That is interesting. How are they doing that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh.
I don't know.
Like, suddenly this story became interesting.
Right, exactly.
Like
Yeah. I don't know how they did that. There must have been some deal that they did, for that one particular game.
yeah, big time. Like there
Yeah.
had to have been like, hey, this, remember this? Like it
Right.
had kind of because that was the thing. Like it had a very Deadpoolish following of like the people. This is it's a great fan service game.
Hmm.
It really is. Like this is what you would want a Deadpool game to be.
Right.
But that's my thing. Is like this is not
Oh yeah.
even a $50 game. No.
Right,
Just
right. And I didn't leave his apartment in the beginning of that game for God, it must have been 10 minutes, 10, 15, just kind of going around and looking at everything, playing the voicemails,
yeah.
and all the little things in his room, in his apartment, and I was like, this is really cool. And that was probably some of my favorite parts of the game that I played so far.
Yeah.
I have it on my PC. I haven't. I need to go back and revisit it, but I thought it was pretty fun. So yeah, it's $40 now. We all know that's going to drop. So I'll probably wait until they have it on one of their sales, on one of their PSN summer, not summer of course, but just one of their upcoming sales. Even if it drops to 30, I might download it because that seems like a game I'd rather play on my PlayStation than on my computer.
Oh yeah, big time. Totally.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We got some other news here in video games. We saw, Ace Attorney 6 was announced.
Okay.
Now you liked these games, or?
I never played them.
Okay, yeah, me either. I thought there was some series that you said you played that was like that. Didn't he do? It was Ace Attorney and what was it? Phoenix something or another?
Phoenix Wright. Yeah.
Right. Did you play that series at all?
Nope.
Okay, yeah. So. Apparently, Ace Attorney 6 was announced, and the 3DS game will be playable at this year's Tokyo Game Show. So, for all you Ace Attorney fans out there you go.
It's got a huge fan base. I mean, God, he was in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Oh yeah.
You had Phoenix Wright in that game, and I was like, okay, sure, why not?
Yeah. A lot of people love that series. A few of my friends like it, and I'm always like, huh? What? Like, you didn't expect that. But yeah, man. So, got some other video game news here. Did you see the Halo 5 intro?
I did. That was cool. That was a nice cinematic. I like that.
This is one bit of news I didn't see, so tell me about it. What's in it?
It's like it's Spartan Locke and his company. It's what, like 4 or 5 of them. I think 4 of them total, and they like their drop is to go rescue. Thank you. That's nice. To go rescue Dr. Halsey, who anybody really familiar with Halo lore knows she created the Spartans, essentially.
Okay.
She was like the head of Spartan development from the beginning.
Okay.
But like it's him and his crew and just their drop into the middle of a Covenant Forerunner battlefield.
Okay.
And it's a neat cinematic. Like
Yeah.
It looks cool, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I didn't see it. I don't know that much about Halo. It's not my cup of tea, but it's whenever I see images of it, I'm like, oh, is this a Death? Nope, it's not. It's Halo. Because it looks really similar.
Yeah.
And of course Nathan's in both of them. So
Yeah.
I keep seeing his face posted on everything.
I know, right?
But yeah, man. All right. Well, we'll be right back. Again, you're listening to thein.fn, and see you in a minute. And we're back. Yeah, man. So, we got some comic book stuff and some reviews to talk about a little bit, and some exciting news about something going on Facebook. But there's one more thing I want to talk about with video games. Did you see this Jimmy Kimmel news about him and YouTube gaming?
No, what happened?
All right, so it's kind of embarrassing, really, for the gaming community, and it was, I guess about a week or so ago. YouTube, actually not a week or so ago, YouTube launched its whole gaming channel, like Twitch,
Right.
not too long ago, and because they realized that that's their number one watch things on YouTube. The number one watch channels are all gaming channels, for the most part. Like, for example, PewDiePie. He's the highest paid YouTube star there is, and it's all about gaming. And so, in a Jimmy Kimmel fashion, he's going to come out and make fun of people on YouTube watching people play video games instead of actually playing the video game. In his mind, of course, it's silly. Why would anyone, watch people playing video games when you could play your video games when, of course, in his mind, it's all a waste of time, And so there's a lot of holes to poke in that. There's a lot of things to make fun of course, like comedians do. And he did. And it ended up becoming the most disliked video he's ever put on YouTube. And he puts a lot of videos on YouTube. He likes to get viral videos. He did that one that not too long ago, the girl twerking, falling into the table, and fire went everywhere, and then it came out that he did it. So, but yeah, so anyway, it was like the most disliked thing. There was a ton of articles about it on IGN and a bunch of other places. And so this week he kind of came out and addressed it. And he did it in kind of the best way possible, but which was super embarrassing for gamers, is he decided to read their comments.
Oh, no.
And their comments were just like any comment section on YouTube or any of these places.
They're exactly what you'd expect them to be.
Right, just nasty, total disgusting, misspelling everything, and then he would say their names, and it was like, it was like Fluffy Boy 42 or something. He was like, I'm really gonna lose sleep over that Fluffy Boy 32. So, and it's, it's like anything. It's, he was just making fun of something, which of course, everything, that's what you do, and people just, it was just a lot of nasty comments, and I thought it was pretty funny, and it was just silly, and a lot of their points were like, a lot of grown men sit around, all day on Sundays in their, their football attire, and they'll watch football instead of playing it. It's like, it's the same argument. Like, why would you play, why wouldn't you, why play video games? Why would you sit and watch someone play it when you could play it yourself? And so, that's, I guess, some of the points some of the commenters and whatnot were trying to make, but they just did it in nasty, nasty ways.
Yeah.
And of course, Jimmy Kimmel just tore him apart. So, that made the news, so I figured I'd bring it up.
Yeah, you never really want to get into like a mudslinging match with Jimmy Kimmel.
Exactly.
It's just not going to end, regardless of what anybody may think about him. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan in the world, but the thing is, like, don't try to out negative Jimmy, because he will turn it around on you.
And that's what he did. He was like, well, yeah, people who watch football and sports are dumb. He's like, me and my buddies are dumb. I sit around with a lot of dumb people. It's fun. And he kind of made the point, like, we're just joking. Like, it's just a joke. Like,
and that's the bigger point. It's like, and then go about your business. Like, just chill out sometimes, people.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, people get, oh man, and comment sections of anything. It's even sometimes it's hard to go on Facebook because, holy crap, like you touched the wrong nerve with some people. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess they're not my friend anymore.
That's why I'm proud of my best of Cisco video that I have up on YouTube. Nothing but positive comments. Like, I'm so thrilled.
And you got a lot of views on that, man.
I did. I'm up to, God, what is that thing up to now? And, like, a lot of, we're talking about in comparison to some people who have, millions of views, and I'm, but it's, right. I'm proud of it because nobody knows who the hell I am, and it's got, last time I checked, it was like 15. Where are we now? Give me 3 seconds here and it'll come up. Or maybe it won't because I'll click the wrong button. Just shy of 18K.
Damn, like that's awesome.
And all it is, like, it's what, like a 5-minute, 6-minute clip of right. Like my favorite Cisco quotes from all of last season. Like, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, and big fans of his, they're gonna go look at that and find it. I just searched and I found a bunch of Cisco thong song stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but no, that's awesome, man. Yeah, and so YouTube is, it's just such a I don't know, the comment section is such a cesspool that, like, big time. For example, I just brought up PewDiePie. He's turned his comment section off.
And that's understandable, it's sad.
Yeah, there's no way, once they introduced the Google comment system, it all went to heck. Like, it all went downhill. Yeah. And so A lot of other like Total Biscuit completely took his off too. A lot of the big time gaming channels did that just because just how nasty it can get.
Yeah.
And it's not surprising. From what I understand, they're taking that away. They're changing it and going back because they realize just all the backlash it's getting.
Yeah.
And all these big time gaming channels, when they're taking it away, that should be like, it should wake people up like, oh, wait a second, maybe we should try and police this a little bit more, make this a little bit better of a place, and try to just immediately implementing, all of Google's stuff. So
Yeah, good
yeah.
luck with
So
that. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
right. And did you see the new PS4 update that they were doing? They actually added YouTube.
Yeah, to stream to YouTube. Yeah, they started because like they started that in Japan. Like they started that update in beta. What, like 3 weeks ago, I think.
Right. Yeah.
And like now they're starting to slowly roll it out.
But the best thing about the update?
Viewing other people's feeds?
No. Bumping the current 1 gigabyte of online storage to 10.
Wow, it's going up to 10. Holy
Yes.
crap. Well, because save files are getting bigger.
Yeah, ever since The Witcher, I stopped being able to save my files online.
I believe that.
Right, and so now that we have 10, now you're really not going to have any problems if you get a bigger hard drive. Of course, you want to do backups and all that other stuff, but you'll still have those saves, and that's super important. So that's amazing. 10 gigabytes of storage. That's gonna be amazing.
That's big. That's and for save files, that's a lot of storage.
Oh yeah, it's huge. So, let's see here. It's what were the other tweaks? I think it was like extra XP for something. But yeah. So anyway, they've changed a lot. So yeah, go and look at the notes for the big update, the next big update. All right, did it already come out or?
I think they're like it's a slow rollout, I think.
Right. Okay, yeah. So you'll be able to start live streaming on YouTube and whatnot. And I have seen, like, if you go to youtube.com, a lot of they'll have a whole segment for streaming gaming. And it'll just have, like, random people playing. Like, I saw one was Destiny and a few other ones. So they're really coming after Twitch for that, man. They really are. They're knocking on their door because I know some people that do Twitch and they make money off of it, and it's not a reliable service. And they've been waiting for someone else to kind of step up to go like, hey, we're here, we can do better.
And why not YouTube?
Why? Yeah, exactly. Why not YouTube? They already got everyone there for everything else. That was my, whenever Twitch came up, I was like, why isn't YouTube doing this?
Exactly. Yeah.
Why haven't they figured this out? And they could easily, and it would force Twitch to make some changes and do it better. So, I thought that was cool. Talk a little bit about your, you mentioned earlier, your platinums.
Yeah, I have a platinum collection that I'm awful proud of.
Yeah?
I've back when I was a serious trophy hunter, and that was like the only time I think I've ever dived into forums in any fashion. But I would talk to all kinds of people who would have 200, 250 platinums, and I'm looking at these and I'm thinking, some of the ones that I have are, and some of the ones that we all had, were very, they were done because they were just simple, easy as can be platinums. Like, you couldn't miss it. Not ones you really want to put up on the wall. These are ones that, you're ticking off the ones you have, and, it would be like, and here's Burnout Paradise, and here's Modern Warfare 2, and there's Hannah Montana, and there's Battlefield, and, you would just kind of breeze through some of them. But you get them because you can. And so, but I can't even remember the first platinum that I had. That may be a lie. It may have been Uncharted.
Okay.
No, that I tell a lie again. It may have been Uncharted 2. Mm-hmm. I can't remember what my first one was. And then it was just kind of something to do. You know, and
Right.
that was, and that's the whole point of it, is to say, okay, here are these extra goals. They're not always necessary. Some of them are. Some of them are story based, or some of them you just get as you go. But some of them are just extra. And I was at a point where I hadn't, my first couple years at community college hadn't gone well, because I had I couldn't find what I wanted to do. Nothing
Right.
jumped out at me, nothing spoke to me. I wasn't tremendously busy with anything. I had so much free time, and I was like, I've got to do something or I'm going to go crazy. So I started trophy hunting, and I was like, I'm going to get platinums in everything I can possibly get my hands on.
Right.
Everything from like really awful Cartoon Network games to, and I would love to go back and find a list, just because I had them all. I actually had all of them laid out as a list at one point, but they're everything top to bottom, from just the simplest, most awful "why did you do that" game to things like Skyrim.
Right.
And that one is hands down my crowning achievement.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
And I would, and it gave you a lot of respect for looking at people who had, you would have people who are like, well, they've platinumed, I mentioned this earlier, Burnout Paradise.
Right.
That's one that when you look at some of those trophies, they're just insane. They're absolutely ridiculous. But it's crazy, and it's everything from Infamous to DMC to The Walking Dead, Sleeping Dogs, and then you go the other way. There's CSI and just it's all over the board.
Right.
That was fun, and I would, if I had the time, I would get back into it. I started to with Arkham Knight. But just
Right.
I ran out of time and patience. I'm not in the mindset for it anymore.
Right, yeah, that was my thing too. I wanted to platinum Arkham Knight, and I beat the game, and I did all this stuff, and then I was like, oh, there's one thing where you had to knock out every move in one consecutive flow or whatever it was, one combo.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way. There's no way I can do that. There's no possible way I can remember to do 24 different combos in a row.
Yeah.
So I gave
crazy.
up. Right. So, all right, man. We'll be right back. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. See you in a minute. And we're back. All right, man. Well, we've talked enough about some video games. Let's get into some comic books. So, last week, we said we were going to read the Autumn Lands. I read the whole volume. Did you read the whole volume or just one of the issues?
Just issue 1.
Okay, issue 1. Okay, so we started Autumn Lands. This was just a random book. I had no idea if I'd like it or not. It was just, buddy at the shop was like, hey, this is good. You might like it. Try it out. It was $10. Can't really beat that. So I got it. And what did you think of it?
It's interesting. That's definitely one that I'm like, okay, I want to read more of this. If for no other reason than to see if I want to continue to read even more of it, really.
Right, exactly. And yeah, man, I think if I would have read just the first issue, I wouldn't have liked it, honestly. The more I read about it, the more into the story, especially issue 2 and 3, and 2, 3, and 4, it gets you're like, okay, I really like some of these characters, and you kind of see some of them drawn together. And anyone who's not read it, it's it's like this world where animals are kind of like people, and they are, they're talking, whatever. So it's kind of like a furries. What are they called? Furries, dream.
Yeah.
But it's very much, they talk like Game of Thrones, maybe even a little bit more into it, and it's just very I don't know. So, and it's this world full of magic, and apparently magic's going away, and it's something they desperately need, and they need a champion. Now I forget how far issue 1 gets into this. Do they talk about the champion and magic?
Just in very general terms. Just in the sense of this champion comes to us in our greatest hour of need, and
Exactly. And so maybe I don't know if I should spoil who the champion is and what he is. But I'm sure reading the first issue you kind of get a clue. But that's after an issue 2, that's when you find out who the champion is. And this person, this thing they brought to their world, and in bringing him to their world, he does a lot of damage. Like this, that just to get him there, they sacrifice a lot, and they're kind of stuck in this place in the world where there's no easy way out. They can't just fly back to where they came from because everything's kind of destroyed, and there's the wild is out there ready to kind of come in and kill them. And so, some of the characters are good, some of the characters are just a-holes the whole time. But I liked it. I liked Volume 1. I'll probably be picking up Volume 2. I don't know if that's out. I don't think it is. But I did enjoy it. It wasn't my favorite thing. It wasn't to me like how Saga was or whatnot, or Deadly Class, which we might talk about Deadly Class in a few weeks, kind of revisit it and talk about it and have some of our listeners get a chance to read it. But it didn't get me as much as that, but I thought it was good. It was so different than your superheroes and stuff like that's why I think I really enjoyed it. But yeah, do you have anything else you want to say about it, or?
I hope I see the owl get his comeuppance. Like, I hate him.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of those characters you're just like, nope, that guy's a dick.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with him. And it was just cool, the dog character, the terrier, and this champion. That the next few issues you really start to see their bond, and some other few characters that come in that you don't know if they're good, you don't know if they're bad, and there's some twists and turns. So it was really good. It was just totally different. Like it was just cool to read something different like this. Just out there, just completely out there.
Totally.
So. Yeah, and this, we've been kind of thinking about what we were going to do with this, and what we've kind of decided to do, and this is kind of the Facebook news. We have our Facebook fan page where we've been posting news and articles and stuff like that. We kind of want to do more of a community type page where it's going to be the We Geek Podcast Facebook group, where both of us can post stories and articles in it all, throughout the day or whenever, because there's stories, Logan, you see that I don't see, there's stuff I see you don't see, and so this kind of takes the weight and puts it, on both of us to do it, but it also gives the community a chance to, once we'll be growing and whatnot, to start posting things in there like, hey, I saw this article, or what do you guys think about this, or what about this, and it'd be a cool way to have that, and so I'll still be posting a lot of the stuff on the fan page. I'm sorry, whatever it's called, the regular We Geek podcast page, but, I'd kind of like to start going more towards this group that we're going to make, and I think it would be cool to have a little, homegrown community and have people, we'll have some admins on there and whatnot, that can remove things or whatever, but, and people can add other people and whatnot, but I think it'd be a cool place. So, and to kick it off, we're going to have a poll, what we should read this coming up week. It might be 1 week, might be 2 weeks, we'll see. But I'm going to put the post up there, and and it might actually just take a week for us to get, and then we'll read the volume. We'll see. But anyway, we'll put the post up, and what it's going to be is we're going to have a list of, I think it's 5 different books. One of them, Southern Bastards by Jason Aaron and Jason Latour. And I don't have the list of what every book's about. This is one book that I've been wanting to be reading for a while now. And I know you've read, I think, one volume of it,
or close to it.
Okay. So, let's see, Southern Bastards. Yeah, it's, I've been just hearing a lot about it. I hear it's kind of like I keep saying Game of Thrones and I don't want to, but I hear it's just about like a southern town where there's a lot of things going on. A guy comes into town, wants to kind of take it back or something like that. I don't know anything about it, and that's kind of what I like.
It's kind of Walking Tall-ish.
Okay.
In a sense. There's a lot of that, but it is very southern.
Awesome. Right. I'm in. I like that. It's different. It's so different. So that's why I thought that'd be cool. So I'm actually going to be picking that up this week just in case it's one of them that we pick. There's also the next one is going to be Why the Last Man by Brian K. Vaughan. Now, this is a book that has just it's a legend in comic book stuff. Like this is a series that everyone always talks about, kind of like The Walking Dead. Tell me kind of you've read it, right? Tell me the brief, if you'd get on a booklet, what was that series about?
What is this guy's name? I can't remember the main character's name, but
Okay.
he and his monkey survive the instant death of every other male everything on the planet.
Awesome.
So adventure, danger, and oftentimes hilarity ensues.
Awesome, yeah. And this is a series I've always heard about, especially reading, Saga. Everyone's like, you need to go read the Why the Last Man. So we're going to put volume up on there for that. So we'll be doing, so the Southern Bastards, there's Why the Last Man. Another one, DMZ, the first volume called On the Ground, but it's by Vertigo, by Brian Wood, Ricardo Buccialetti, and Brian Azzarello, right?
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
Azzarello, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that.
There's been a second Civil War, and New York has turned into a demilitarized zone.
Okay.
So the protagonist is a photojournalist technically, sent in to do a story on it.
Oh, cool.
And then, we see what happens.
All right. Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. That's another series I heard nothing but good thing. This other one, Seconds by Brian Lee O'Malley. This is one I actually just picked up over the weekend. Tell me about it.
Seconds is a very, it's still very much kind of a Scott Pilgrim versus the world idea of like worlds within worlds in a sense.
Okay.
Like there's still kind of a fantastic element to things. The basic story is a woman wants to open her own restaurant.
Okay. All right.
That's basically the story.
Okay, maybe it was a different kind of book that I thought it was going to be.
But it's interesting. You'll see
Okay.
when you get into it. Like, oh, okay, it's this.
Cool. All right. Well, I have it. I own it. So it's definitely something I'm going to be reading regardless. And Scott Snyder's Witches.
Yeah, this one you'll have to talk about because this is the one that I don't know.
All right, so Scott Snyder's Witches with him and Jock. I've only read, I think, 1 or 2 of the issues, and it was just really cool. It was this idea that Scott Snyder has just been kind of thinking about for a while now, about witches in the woods, and not like, oh, I'm on a broomstick or anything like that, but these witches live in the trees. And they are just these rumored things that lived in the forest, and they'd snatch you up. And so the whole book, the art's a little weird for me, but the story is just weird. It's it's this teased girl that, and this is a spoiler, she was teased, so she was bullied so much they had to move to a different school. And her only friend in her world is kind of her parents, and she's very alone, very I gotta start over now. And what if this town finds out what happened in the last town because of the internet? And it's just, let's just try to get through the day kind of stuff. And it really hits home with a lot of things. And so, and then of course there's the witches element, and all of it, I don't want to spoil anything, but all of it kind of leads back to what happened in the other town for them to move. And on face value, it's like she was teased, but there's more to the story, and and it involves witches, and so that's kind of the thing of it. So these are the books. So it's going to be Southern Bastards, Why the Last Man, DMZ, Seconds, and Witches. So we're going to put that post up. Vote for what you like. Tell us what you want us to read, and maybe in a week or so we'll talk about it. Maybe sooner than later, who knows? But we're going to put that up there, going to be one of the main things, and go to the page and like it, or you don't have to like it, but join it and talk and post whatever you want into it, as long as it's okay, and that'd be cool. So we only got a few minutes. Let's kind of break down some of the reviews real fast. What'd you think of Fear the Walking Dead?
I like it. I like the slow burn element of it, and watching the world as it goes crazy. Like, it's not just
fall apart.
Yeah, exactly. Like quickly but slowly at the same time.
Oh yeah, I love the tension and like you said, the slow burn, these familiar scenes of hallways open, no one's there. She's in the school, it's deadly quiet. And, you know, you got to put yourself in her head. The world hasn't gone to hell yet, but you sense something is.
Yeah.
You know, and you see it on the TV. And the one negative thing is I didn't like the, you know, the cops and just how modern it was trying to be, or not relevant, I guess is the right word. Just the way the kid was talking was kind of cringeworthy. Like, I'm a part of the movement now.
Yeah, but, you know, I mean, take a look around, you know.
Yeah, no, but it was just super cheesy. It was like, why would he take time out of his day to call his dad and go, I'm in a movement now. You can't stop me. It was just like, oh god, you know. But that's my only negative about it. I mean, I guess just the acting around that frame. I was just like, oh, these people off the street it's very cringeworthy. But yeah. So anyway, I liked the tension that it builds, and then being in the store. What about Until Dawn, man?
It's creepy as hell. And I love not just, like, the whole thing, real quick, is built on choices. And it's not like, oh, we've heard this, but no, it's seriously, like, the butterfly effect is intense. And it's not just, like, in-game, there's also, like, a very meta game being played that may or may not be meta. I'm telling you, play it. You will enjoy the hell out of it.
So it's kind of like, what's that movie that just came out not too long ago? The Cabin in the Woods.
Yes and no.
Okay. Oh, don't tell me anymore. This is something my buddy picked up, and it's a PlayStation exclusive. So you know, and he was like, his main thing was, why is Sony not pushing this?
Yeah.
Because this is really something special.
Agreed.
And it's different, and it's fun, and if you like any of those kind of, like, you know, teen horror things, he's like, pick it up, because if you sit and play it with someone, you're gonna have fun, and there's tons of different ways to play it too, I hear.
Yeah.
So that's it. You know, we're wrapping it up. Again, listen to We Geek Podcast, of course, every Wednesday. We're going to be soon on the N.FM on Wednesdays. Just haven't nailed down the time. We'll have that next week. Go to our Facebook group. It's going to be called We Geek Podcast. So, you know, like our fan page and join our group. You know, and you can post things. What?
Invite your friends.
Invite your friends, and we'll welcome them in. You know, post nice things. You know, of course, we'll have some admins. But I think it'd be fun to just have people post in there, and it'd be a community and that. And if you know, it's going to start off small and it's going to grow. So, you know, send us an email at wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. Our Twitters is at wegeekpodcast. My personal is at Adam Estep. Yours, Logan? At
the Logan Witt.
All right, and go to theN.FM, listen to their channel music. It's fantastic. We're going to be on it soon. So I think that's it, Captain.
Captain. Captain. Captain. Captain. Captain. Captain. Captain. Captain.